The story of Sonia, the girl who can detect thoughts through a kiss. There was an intelligent girl named Sonia. She had an extraordinary gift with which she can understand the thoughts, feelings, and intents of other of another person through either receiving a kiss or receiving one. This ability would help her discern which people are good for her to associate with. One day, a guy named Simon encountered Sonia. He was taller than her, standing at 6 feet, or 183 centimeters, whereas she was standing at 5 foot 9, standing or 175 centimeters. He he also had brown hair, fair skin, and is slightly muscular. Was slightly muscular. Simon and Sonia spent a lot of time in the gym together. They jogged in parks, and they lifted weights, although Sonia preferred to do that in moderation. One day, while at a park, Sonia and Simon hid among the bushes where no one can see them. I must say that I like you, Sonia, since, besides being beautiful, you're really fit to the point that you are able to lift heavy loads, Simon confessed. Thank you for your encouraging words, Simon, Sonia commented. Is it okay if I kiss you? Simon said slowly. Yes, go ahead, Sonia replied with a smile, offering her cheek. Now she'll be able to find out his secrets. Once Simon kissed Sonia's cheek, she immediately experienced thoughts about his feelings and intentions. I believe Sonia and I are meant for each other, although I should not be too sure. I love her, but I love to keep my family line going and doing my part to maintain the existence of the white race even more. So, so, for the sake of those goals, I would accept her as a potential wife and a good mother. Sonia was shocked and upset. She felt like she was slapped in the face. The idea that Simon would be so nice to her so that he could use her to achieve those goals, even if it may come at her expense, was terrifying. At this point, Sonia was convinced that Simon would not want to stay in relationship with her, let alone marry her. The reason for that was that her gift of discerning people's thoughts came at the cost of her not being able to bear children. So she sadly told him her secret. Simon, I'm sorry to inform you about this. If you still think we're meant for each other, then you're wrong, because I'm unable to bear children. Simon was astonished. He never believed that any girl, especially Sonia, could be in, infertile. He was silent for a moment. Then, with, then with disappointment, he replied, You're right, Sonia. We're not meant for each other, and I accept that. Sonia and Simon broke up with each other and went their separate ways. 1 month later, Sonia was sitting on the park bench when she saw another guy with brown skin and curly hair hanging upside down on a thick tree branch while he was repeatedly throwing a yellow ball in the air. Sonia went up to him and said, with curiosity, I've never seen anyone doing that before. Why are you hanging upside down and throwing the ball like that? The slim guy let the ball fall on the grass, then flipped from the branch and explained, I like to be creative experiment with new things. It's one of the things that gives my life meaning. Sonia noticed that the guy was slightly shorter than her, standing at 5'7" or 170 centimeters. But that did not stop her forming a from potentially forming a relationship with him. That's interesting. I also like doing new things, Sonia remarked before she introduced herself. My name is Kamil. It's nice to meet you, Sonia. Since that encounter, Sonia and Kamil did a variety of extraordinary activities besides hanging upside down and throwing balls in the air. They included moving backwards on walls, they juggled and passed pine cones back and forth, and throwing balls at trees and catching them. One day, Sonia and Camille were alone at another park. After spending time together for several weeks, they realized that they had strong feelings for each other. You know, Camille, you're really you are a really fun person to be with. I like you a lot, Sonia stated. I like you too, Sonia, Camille said. Is it okay if I kiss you? Sonia requested. Camille nodded excitedly and puckered his lips. Sonia kissed his lips and received his secret thoughts. This present moment is the most exciting in my life. I like Sonia so much that I consider her to be more important than family lines and my supposed duty to have biological children, which I don't need. I will stick with her even if she is unable to have children or doesn't want them either. Sonia was overjoyed that Camille would accept her as she is. It meant a lot to her. Because of that, she was convinced that they both were an excellent match. Camille, you and I will always have a meaningful connection, whether we are together or apart, Sonia proclaimed with a grin. I agree. May we always have fun together and love each other, Camille added with a grin. Sonia and Camille walked alone in the park path on the park path together, admiring the gorgeous scenery. The end.